What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 5-Minute Fantasy's Week 12, Booming and Busting Tight Ends. My start of the week, I'm going to say, is going to be both Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle. With the potential injury to T.Y. Hilton, him not being in the lineup, and Marlon Mack also having an injury. I think it's his wrist. I don't remember. That means that Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle, the two tight ends, are going to be in the game more as blockers for the less effective running backs, as well as pass catchers in place of the star wide receiver. So I think that they're going to be on the field more in general, and then they're going to be out catching passes more than they would before. Going up against Houston, Houston gives up quite a few points to tight ends, so look for them both, to potentially have over 10 points this week. Ryan Griffin, the Jets tight end, a guy who I meant to tell all y'all to pick him up last week. I know I picked him up on my fantasy teams, and I accidentally forgot to put him on my list. And he balled out, and I felt really bad because I didn't put it in the video. But he's got another favorable matchup this week. Like I've been saying, Sam Darnold loves passing to tight ends. And, with Chris Herndon in and out of injury and suspension, and it's just not his year. I think he's going to have a similar start to a career like Hunter Henry, where he doesn't really get on the field evidently until year 3, but when he does, he's going to start balling. So look for that next year. But for now, Ryan Griffin, he's going to be balling this week against Oakland. And then start O.J. Howard. Atlanta doesn't really know how to cover tight ends, which is interesting coming from a team that has a great tight end. But Atlanta's not really great at covering tight ends. I don't think that the deep passing game is going to be as effective with Atlanta's resurgent pass rush. So look for the short passes to be important to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. But definitely start Howard in your lineups this week. And then Darren Waller. I know it's a bad matchup, like on paper, like it's like the Jets give up like the 5th least fantasy points to tight ends, but they really haven't faced any tight ends. Like the last 2 weeks, they faced Washington, who they've got like the 70-year-old Vernon Davis and the always injured Jordan Reed, and then the week before that, they faced the Dolphins with a guy whose last name I can't even pronounce. They really just haven't faced anybody. So don't be afraid to start Darren Waller, a guy who has been a legit number 1 tight end in the league, and then he'll be able to continue that pace against the Jets this week. And then I'm going to say sit Gerald Everett going up against the Baltimore Ravens. His roles is been kind of confusing, and Baltimore knows how to cover tight ends. They know what they're doing, and they have the ability to play man on a lot of wide receivers and really work on the pass rush. So be careful about starting Gerald Everett. And then at the same time, don't start Vance McDonald. I don't care that they're playing Cincinnati. Vance McDonald is never a big option in the Pittsburgh Steelers game plan, really. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I was kind of flip-flopping on this one because so many wide receivers are just getting hurt for Pittsburgh that you almost have to say start Vance McDonald because he's bound to get targets. But I just don't think – I don't even think they like him on the team in terms of like a real offensive option. So if you have a better option, sit him. And then I'm going to say my last sit Jared Cook going up against Carolina. Carolina, despite the the last couple weeks, giving up a few points, they have a good defense and they know how to cover tight ends. I don't think that Jared Cook is, he's not consistent with New Orleans. So even if he has 2 or 3 good weeks, he's not going to have a good week up against Carolina on Sunday.